What's up, guys? Coach Vassar. Thank you for joining me with OTF Audio Daily Beats. As always, if you're new, appreciate you tuning in, listening to me talk about these workouts. If you find value in them, let me know. Information is in the description to support me. If you have any feedback, of course, give me that heads up. What can I do differently to improve on this so you get more out of it for these little 10 to 15 minute videos of the workouts. Today, we're going to break down Saturday, April 12th. This will also repeat on Sunday, April 27th during the dry try weekend. We're gonna see power on the treads, endurance on the rower, and on the weight floor. Talk about the 2G, talk about the 3G, and then get you on out of here. Looking at the key concepts today on the treads, we're gonna have 3 blocks, 9 pairs of a push into an all-out. Pushes gets shorter each block. Can you turn up the intensity as they do so? Rower will kick off each block with a row. Just like the treads, the push gets shorter. You check your watts. We're looking at average watts, and can you hold or bump the average up? On the floor, you're gonna have back-to-back movements of the same muscle group. Start with dumbbells and then strap for endurance. So starting off with the treads, block 1, block 2, block 3. Very simple. Push, all out, walk recoveries is the format. Walk recoveries are always a minute, all outs are always 30 seconds, but the push will change block to block, okay? And the goal is to establish a push and an all out in the first pair and maintain during the block. And then on the next block, increase the push intensity. As far as the all out goes, at least maintain it. Great challenge is maybe increase the all out. But either way, we should close the gap at the very least, or maintain the gap as we push everything upwards. Block 1, 6 minutes here. 2-minute push, 30 all out, 1 minute walk recovery. Do it again. Nothing crazy here. So power walkers 5%, joggers, runners anywhere from 1 to 2 over their base. Bikes and striders, I would have them stride about 3 gears over base. That way they could go 4 on block 2 and do 5 gears for block 3. Okay. A minute to walk should be plenty of time to at least start to see heart rates dropping down. More conditioned people, they might get like low green or even into the blue in that 1 minute. Great, but then they're going right back into another 2.5 minutes of work, so they might want that full recovery. They want the full recovery if they do it right, okay? Encourage those walk recoveries, peaks and valleys today. After that, 90 seconds of a walk, get back to base when they're ready, then they move into block 2. Same thing, but now we're gonna add an extra round, but the push is now 1 minute. So power walkers, 6% or greater, joggers and runners, could they add 0.1 to maybe 0.3, what they did previously? 3 rounds, 1 minute push, 30 all out, 1 minute walk recovery. Another 90-second walk, get back to base when they're ready, and then finally, block 3, 4 rounds. Drop the push again. Now it is a minute of work, a minute of rest. Definitely tough if they have increased their push. 30 seconds, power walkers 8% or greater, joggers and runners, another 0.1 to 0.3 more than what they did in the past. Bikes and striders, hopefully by this point, 5 gears over base. They got their 4 rounds, and then there we go. So lots of speed, lots of work. When we look at the rower weight floor side, 3 row attempts, that's it. Each block has 1 row. First one is a 300-meter push row. Block 2 is gonna be 250 meters. Block 3 is a 200-meter push row. The goal is for them to increase their average watts round to round. So it is beneficial to use that stored program. If they have the heart rate monitor, once they finish their row, if they hit sign out, it'll display the information of like the time, the distance, and their average watts. And of course, when they eventually come back for block 2, when they sign back in, it'll be then listed at the very bottom. If you have anyone who doesn't use a heart rate monitor, then it's more about just being aware of what they finished at in terms of like their stroke rate, or not the stroke rate, but their split time, and see if they could finish with a lower split time, because then their watts are obviously going up higher as well. 300, 250, 200 meters. Now, block 1 on the floor movements themselves, as mentioned, is going to start with a dumbbell exercise and then a strap movement. They're hitting the same muscle groups. So they start you off with a tough movement to begin with, the split stance reverse fly. You're doing 6 with one leg, 6 with the other. So 12 total reverse flies, very small muscle group. A good alternative is to do a high row, but you're hitting the back of the shoulders. If people feel like they have to swing and bounce, it's probably too heavy. They recommend doing this as a partial demo, so demonstrate it without a dumbbell. because that way you can spend more time on the wall slide. And the biggest cue that I found helpful for the wall slide is to imagine that you are standing up against a wall. So the elbows and the back of your hands are neutral and flat, so we're not bent like this. And as we try to pull back, we keep those elbows underneath the wrist as we then extend up and then back down. The entire time, shoulder blades are pinched together, a lot of recruitment through the posterior chain of the upper back, which are also the same muscles they're using the reverse fly. So it's gonna get very toasty back there. They'll do those 2 movements, rest, and then repeat. With that 300-meter push row taking probably around a minute or so, and then they'll head to the floor. They got about 4 minutes to do these 2 movements. Definitely get 2 or 3 rounds in, especially having a long 2-minute push, 1-minute walk time, plenty of time to help people with that wall slide. So definitely take advantage of that during that second 2-minute push. Block 2. So once they've completed the 250-meter push row, now we're gonna see front-loaded single arm cross back lunge. So whichever side has the weight, that's the foot that's gonna step back and cross over. And that's gonna be paired up with the strap front squat. Another new-ish movement. This is one where the straps are underneath the armpits. They wanna start in a tall plank position, walk their feet back, and then they're gonna sit back and down. I actually like to have them keep their heels elevated off the floor as they do that. That way it really loads up the quads. And then drive through the ball of the feet as they load back to that plank position. It's almost like that superhero movement, just without the extension of the arms. They'll have 2 rounds there for that 6.5-minute block. And then finally the last block, 200-meter push row. And then they are done with the row, or they could wipe it down. We'll see dumbbell squat to bicep curl. So obviously pick a weight that they could do the bicep curls with, because they could squat that no problem. They might not be able to curl what they could squat though. And then that's gonna be paired up with the strap bicep curl. That's not a movement, done it plenty of times. Main thing though, arms started out, tricep stays away from the torso, bends from the elbow to about the temple, and then right back down. As far as setup, I like to have people start in this position, walk their feet forward until they feel it in the bicep, then they could lower down, lock out the elbow, pull themselves back up. And then we have a low plank as the finisher. For all those members who like to do planks anyways, here's your day. That's a 2G. 3G side, we're gonna see 2 blocks on the treads, 2 blocks on the rowers, and 1 long block on the weight floor. The tread side, it is block 2 and 3 from the 2G. So they have the 1-minute push, 30-second all out for 3 rounds, and then the 30 push, 30 all out for 4 rounds in block 2. There's only 75 seconds to set up between blocks 1 and 2, so just be aware of that. Rowers, they have a unique situation here. They're gonna do a 1,000 meter stored program, and they are going to row 300 meters and then go into the med ball exercise. When they finish the med ball exercise, whatever their distance is at, they will do another 300 meters from that number. So there is gonna be some carryover, of course. So they start at 1,000, they get to 700, they rack their handle. It'll probably say like 680. So then from 680, chop off another 300. That's gonna put them about 380. And then of course they hop off, get back on. It's gonna say maybe about 360 or so. They get back on, finish the 300. Now there's 60 meters left. So 3rd round, they're gonna hop back on and maybe do a couple strokes. Then they're gonna just tap new interval and then row until time is called. It's more about being consistent than anything for this block, because the goal is just to get through those 1,000 meters and make it to the bonus. So have them be consistent with their intensity on that push row. Keep the stroke rate maybe somewhere between 24 to 28, 7-ish out of 10 on the leg drive. Block 2 is set up the same way as far as a 1,000 meter countdown, but now they're gonna time themselves for a 1-minute push row and then 10 reps of a stand-in med ball rainbow. They'll get back on. Wherever they start rowing, they have 1 minute to row and then do it again. Same idea, they'll probably get about 3 rounds to complete their distance, or like a partial 4th round. And then they're just gonna tap new interval and just row until they go into a 30-second all out. On the weight floor, it is all 3 back-to-backs done as 1 big block. However, they're gonna do 2 rounds of each back-to-back. So reverse fly, wall slide, rest, do it again. Reverse lunge, front squat, rest, do it again, and then squat to bicep curl, strap, bicep curl, rest, do it again, and then do them all as one long circuit. There you go. Best of luck of you. Definitely, if you have the time, rehearse technique for the wall slide. You don't have to have people grab the strap, but have them practice it with you by pulling back, just standing nice and tall like this. Work on driving up, coming back, pinch back behind you, bicep by the ear, all the way back down. Try to make it so you cannot see your arms from the corner of your eyes. If you can see your elbows, work on pulling them back some more. You guys got this. As always, any feedback, let me know. Coach it down.